You remember the moment clearly, the room, the light, the exact words someone said. You can picture it right now, the details sharp, the feeling vivid, the memory sitting inside you like a photograph you've carried for years. But here is the part no one tells you. That photograph was never taken. Your brain built it. And every single time you looked at it, your brain rebuilt it again. Slightly different, slightly adjusted, silently rewritten to match who you are today. Your memory is not a recording. It is a story, and you are always the one editing it. This is not a flaw. It is not a malfunction. It is one of the most extraordinary things your brain does, and one of the most dangerous. Because the version of the past you are living with right now may have almost nothing to do with what actually happened. Think about your earliest memory. How old were you? 3? 4? You can probably describe it. A birthday, a fall, a face, a place. But researchers who study childhood memory have found something deeply unsettling. Most people's earliest memories are not real, not distorted, not exaggerated, completely fabricated. In a landmark study, psychologist Kathy Pezdeck found that people routinely believe they remember events from ages 1 and 2, ages at which the human brain is neurologically incapable of forming long-term episodic memories. What you believe you remember from that age is almost certainly a reconstruction built from photographs, stories your parents told, and emotional fragments your brain stitched together into a scene that feels like yours. Your brain did not lie to you. Your brain did what it always does. It filled the gap. This is called confabulation, and it does not only happen in early childhood. It happens every time you remember anything. Here is what memory actually is. When you experience something, your brain does not press record. It selects. It fragments the experience into separate pieces. The sounds processed in one region, the emotions in another, the visual details in another, the sequence in yet another. These fragments get stored separately, scattered across different parts of your brain like puzzle pieces dropped in different rooms. When you want to remember that experience later, your brain has to go collect all those pieces and reassemble them. Every single time. And every single time it reassembles them, it makes small edits. It fills in missing pieces with things that feel right. It adjusts details to match your current beliefs. It quietly removes the parts that no longer fit the story you tell about yourself. Elizabeth Loftus has spent decades proving exactly this. Her research on what she calls the misinformation effect showed that human memory is not just unreliable, it is actively vulnerable to outside interference. In one of her most famous experiments, she showed participants footage of a car accident. Afterward, some were asked how fast the cars were going when they smashed into each other. Others were asked how fast the cars were going when they hit each other. The word smashed, just one word, caused people to remember the cars going significantly faster. And 1 week later, those same people were more likely to remember seeing broken glass at the scene. There was no broken glass. The word created the memory. The memory felt completely real. One word. That is all it took. Now think about every argument you have ever had with someone you love. You remember what they said. They remember something different. You are both absolutely certain. You are both wrong in different directions. This is not dishonesty. This is memory doing what memory does. Each of you rebuilt the same moment through the filter of your own emotions, your own expectations, your own need for the story to make sense. The fight you remember having is not the fight that happened. It is the fight your brain needed to have happened. Daniel Schacter at Harvard calls this the 7 sins of memory: transience, absent-mindedness, blocking, misattribution, suggestibility, bias, persistence. These are not bugs in an otherwise perfect system. They are features of a system that was never built for accuracy. Your memory was built for survival. It was built to extract patterns, to update beliefs, to keep you functioning in a world that never stops changing. Precision was never the point. Usefulness was the point. And yet, you trust your memory with everything. Your identity, your relationships, your grievances, your pride, your regrets. Everything you believe about who you are is built on a foundation of
While it is open,
reconstructed,
it is
edited,
vulnerable. Whatever is
partially
happening
informed.
around you right now, your mood, a conversation, a smell, something someone says, can get woven into the memory before your brain locks it back down. You do not just remember the past, you update it. Every retrieval is also an edit. The memory you put back is never quite the same as the one you took out. This means the memories you have revisited most often are likely the most distorted. The stories you have told the most times about your childhood, about your greatest failure, about the moment everything changed, those are the ones your brain has rebuilt the most times. Those are the ones with the most edits. The memories that feel most solid, most certain, most vivid, those may be the furthest from what actually occurred. Psychologist Ulrich Neisser demonstrated this with devastating precision after the Challenger space shuttle disaster in 1986. The morning after it happened, he asked his students to write down exactly where they were and what they were doing when they heard the news. 2.5 years later, he asked them again. The accounts were dramatically different. Some had changed completely. But here's the part that stays with you. When students were shown their original written accounts, their own handwriting from 2 years earlier, many of them refused to believe it. They insisted the newer version was correct. One student said, and this is nearly a direct quote, "I know that's my handwriting, but I just don't remember it that way." The memory felt more real than the evidence. The brain story felt more true than the document. That is how complete the illusion is. And yet, and this is the part that changes how you think about all of it, this system is not a mistake. The brain that edits your memories is the same brain that lets you learn, adapt, forgive, and grow. A brain that stored every experience with perfect accuracy would be paralyzed by it. Every trauma preserved in full resolution. Every mistake replayed without mercy. Every version of yourself you have outgrown, still vivid, still present, still competing with who you are now. The imperfection of memory is what gives you the freedom to change, to become someone your past self would not recognize, to look back at a painful moment and find, years later, that it has softened, not because time heals, but because your brain has quietly, mercifully rewritten it. Your memories are not a record of your life. They are a portrait of who you are right now. Every time you remember something, you are not looking backward. You are building forward, assembling a version of the past that makes sense of the present, that explains who you have become, that gives the story of your life a shape that feels like yours. The person you were 10 years ago is partly a character your current brain invented. The fight you can't let go of may have happened differently than you think. The memory that defines you may be a mosaic of fragments, impressions, and emotion that your brain arranged into something that feels like a moment, because a moment is what you needed it to be. You remember your life clearly, you always have. But clarity, it turns out, has never been the same thing as truth. And the version of the past you are living with right now, vivid, certain, undeniable, was quietly written by the same brain that is reading these words, building new memories right now, deciding what today will mean when you look back years from now and remember it perfectly.